Hello students, let us now discuss one of the questions in process costing. I hope you must have gone through the theory video of process costing in which I have explained the basic features about process costing and how we are going to make the accounts under process costing. Okay, so now this is the question which we are going to solve. Now let us start reading the question. The following information is extracted from the cost records of a factory producing a commodity in the manufacture, of which three processes are involved. As I've discussed previously in my theory video, that in process costing, we'll be talking about different processes. Okay, so in this question, our product is going to be manufactured through three different processes. We need to prepare the process cost accounts showing the cost of the output. For each process, we are going to determine the output cost and the cost per unit at each stage of the manufacture. That how much is the cost per unit that is being incurred at each of the processes. The values at which the units are to be charged to processes 2 and 3 is the cost unit of processes 1 and 2. Whenever you are going to transfer the output from process 1 to process 2, the cost which is going to be charged will be included accordingly. Here they are also asking us to make the assumptions wherever necessary. Now let us study the details that are given to us in the question. There are three processes as talked in the question. Process number 1, 2 and 3. Remember, in process costing, two types of details will be given to you. As this table has been split into two parts, first is the rupee value, the money value of all the expenses that are incurred, and second is the units, input and output unit. This we are talking in terms of raw material. Now, the first expense given to us is direct wages. For each process, different wage amount is being mentioned. So we are going to include these expenses in the process account respectively. Second expense is machine expense. Machine expense are given as again for individual processes. Third is your factory overhead given as per your different processes. Now remember the very important aspect, the raw material consumed is being introduced only in process 1. The raw material will be introduced in process 1. First, once it is processed in process 1, it is going to be transferred to process 2 and then to process 3. Okay. So only once we have introduced the raw material here in the process. Okay. Now let us come to the second half of the table in which they are giving you the details in terms of units. Units may identify production gross. How much output is obtained in process 1? 11,000 units, and the amount is given as gross, not the net amount. I will explain you what is the difference between gross and net amount. Net amount will be obtained after we are going to deduct wastages from the gross amount. Wastages, as I've talked you about wastages in the previous lecture, there will be two types of wastages, normal wastage and abnormal wastage. Or we can say normal loss or abnormal loss. So here, as you can see clearly, for each process, wastage amount is being given. In process 1, the wastage amount is 600 and the output gross is 11,000. Then second is wastage amount 840 in process 2 and wastage amount in third process is 800. Along with the raw material input, we are also having some balances which are available in the process 2 and 3. So stocks are also being given So stock on 1st January 2009 are given as 1000 units for process 2. Similarly for process 3 also. And closing stocks of the respective processes are also been given to you. Okay. Now let us see how we are going to solve this question. In process costing, we are going to prepare process accounts separately for each process. Process 1, 2 and 3. Now let us start discussing the processes account. How we are going to prepare the different process accounts. As you can see here, as we have discussed in the question, that 3 types of process account will be made. Here we have made 3 accounts, process 1, process 2 and process 3. 2-3 important features that how we are going to prepare the process account. Number 1, it is a T-shaped account, as you can see, with a debit and a credit side. Okay, next. The details which we are going to include in this process account will be, first column will be of particulars, second will be on the number of units. Units will be representing that how much raw material was introduced in the process. Then we have is the rupee column as we have in the other T-shaped account. Okay. Another important feature which I would like you to remember is the process account is been divided in 2 parts, debit and credit. The debit part will represent the input thing. That means input of raw material and the various expenses. Okay. And the credit part will represent the output. Okay. That means how much produced was recovered from the process, how much was the normal loss, etc. etc. Okay. Now let us start see the question that what we are going to put as the input quantities. First and foremostly, the input value will include your raw material. So how much units of raw, 2 things we need to see. First is how much unit and what is their value. Okay. So let us check for the raw material. Raw material consumed. Here we are being given the monetary value. And in the second half of the table, we were given the unit value. So here they have given production gross. Gross production. They have given you the value indirectly. They have not given you the input quantity, rather they are mentioning is the output quantity. That how much production has been received in process 1. And the amount is indicating a gross figure. Alright, gross figure indicating means without deducting the losses. That is your normal loss. So we are assuming that indirectly they have given us the input quantity. That is your 11,000 units. So how much raw materials is introduced in the process? 11,000 units. And what is the value? 32,000 as given in the table. The next element we have is relating to process 1 are the direct wages, machine expenses and factory overhead. These 3 elements we are going to add on the debit side. Okay, not in the unit column. Please remember that in the unit column, we will be only introducing the amount of raw material in the process. So we have introduced direct wages, amount is 10,000. Then we have machine expenses, 5,600 and factory overhead is 4,400. All right. Now let us come to the output side. All right. Output side, how we are going to identify that? First and foremostly, identify how much losses are being assumed in the process. So it is being said that 600 units are being 600 units are being lost in the process. So here we are indicating that by normal loss 600 units are being lost. Okay, while we are not being given any rupee value. See, there is a possibility that this loss can also be sold in the market at a scrap value. But that value is not given to you in the question. So we are going to leave this column this particular element blank. Okay. For this we will be solving another question. When the scrap value of the normal loss or abnormal loss is being given to you. So the question is saying that out of the 11,000 units which we have introduced, 600 units are being lost due to a normal loss. So how much is the output? 11,000 minus 600. So the unit output becomes 10,400. Okay, and how much is the value of these 10,400 units is equivalent to the total expense done in that particular process. So 32,000 plus 10,000 plus 5,600 plus 4,400. A total of all these is going to give you the value equivalent to 52,000. So for producing 10,400 units, we have spent 52,000 rupees. Now, we are also required to identify the per unit price in case of your process accounting. So with each process, we are going to identify how much is the per unit price. So per unit price for this particular process is going to be 52,000 divided by 10,400. So for process 1, the total expenses incurred in producing a single unit is rupee 5 per unit. Okay. Because the value which we have lost here in the 600 units is going to be recovered from the good value. Okay. They have not generated, the 600 units have not generated us any revenue, they are simply wasted. But this wastage cost is going to be recovered by the good units that are being made in the process. Let's talk about how we are going to prepare the account for process 2. As you can see, and it is again a T-shaped account, and here we are going to have the input quantities, and here we are going to have the output quantities. On the debit side, input quantities, on the credit side, output quantities. Same ways, we are going to make 3 columns, one for particular, another for units, and another for rupees. And you might be thinking, here we are not introducing any raw material, then why we are making the units column? No, but whatever whatever material or whatever output we are going to receive from process 1 is going to be identified in process 2. Now carry on the question. Here we have written the amount of normal loss, that is 600 units. So how much was the output in process 1? 10,400 units. And what is the valuation of those units is 52,000. This is going to be the element which is going to be passed on to process 2. As I have discussed initially with you people, that the raw material is going to be introduced in process 1. Then after processing, we will receive an output in process 1, which is going to be the input quantity for process 2. So here I have written very clearly that this is the transfer amount to process 2. So by process 2, transfer amount 10,400 and the value will be 52,000. Initiate the question by mentioning, first of all, what we have received from process 1. So from process 1, we have received a transfer amount. The quantity is 10,400 and the amount is 52,000. Now, remember the question. Here we are also being given some opening stock. So stock in process 2 on 1st January 2009 is 1000 units. Remember, this is the unit value which is being given to you. So in process 2, we have written that we are having an opening stock of process 1. So here we are having, these are the unprocessed unit which were introduced in this particular process. So 2 opening stock, and these values, these units are going to be valued at rupee 5. That is the cost which we have identified in process 1. That if something is getting transferred from process 1 to process 2, what is the value of the transfer is 5. That means we have done a work of rupee 5 on these 1000 units. Remaining work is going to be done in this process itself. So now all in all, how much balance we are having in quantity? 10,400 plus 1000 units. On these many units, processing of this second process is going to take place. So we have raw material which we have received from process 1 is 10,400 units, which is received now, and the amount is 52,000. A previously kept balance of 1000 units is also been there, and how much work was being done on them? Equivalent to 5 rupees. So what is the value of these 1000 units is 5,000 rupees. So all in all, we are having total quantity of 10,400 plus 1,000. Remaining expenses same as our previous process. The expense of direct wages, machine expenses and factory overheads. But this time we will be quoting the expenses that are mentioned in column under process 2. So here we have written to direct wages 20,000, to machine expenses 4,800 and to factory overhead 6,200. Now this is the input side that we have completed. Now let us come to the output side. Okay. Now in the output side we are having some more element added to that. All right. Now identify this thing that two values are already given to you. First is the wastage. How much wastage was observed in process 2 is 840 units. And how much is the closing stock, which is not being processed and which is still lying in process 2. So what is the closing stock of process 2 is 1760 units. So let us quote these two important quantities. This we have already utilized. These 1000 units were opening stock and we have mentioned them on the debit side of the process account. Second, this 840 units of wastage and these 1760 of closing stock are going to be mentioned in the process account. Now identify here by normal loss how many units were mentioned, 840 units, and what is the closing stock, 1760 units. Okay, so we are mentioning two types of quantities here, normal loss 840 and closing stock is 1760. As we know, normal loss is not going to carry any value. Why? Because we are not selling it as a scrap in the market and it is not realizing any amount. So the loss being incurred in these 840 units is going to be borne in by the good units. So leave the amount here. Another important thing, how are we going to determine the value of the closing stock? So closing stock valuation is going to be done according to the first process cost. Okay, because in this process, the cost is not being incurred. These units will undergo the processing part again in the next month. Then the cost is going to be added to them. What is the value of these particular units is 1760 and they are going to be valued at ₹5. Okay, because these units are still going to remain in process 2. They are not being processed under the process number 2. So what is the valuation of these units? 1760 multiplied by 5. So that is your 8800. 8800 stock is still lying in the process 2. Next time when we are going to start, it will come or it will get transferred on the debit side. So 1760 is the closing stock and since no work has been done in the process 2 on these units, we are going to value it at a price of ₹5 only. So 8800 is the amount which we have quoted for these 1760 units. Now, how much we are going to transfer to process 3? The amount is going to be determined with the help of calculate first of all the input quantity. The input quantity is 10,400 plus 1000. So all in all, we are having the units input as 11,400. Out of these 11,400 units, how much is the loss quantity? 800 by normal loss. And how much still remain in the process is 1760. So we will deduct both these values from the total of 11,400, and what output we are going to receive is 8,800. That means in the process 2, how many units are processed? 8,800 units. While rest of them are being formed by normal loss and closing stock. So these 8,800 units are going to be valued. Now how much is going to be the value? Make a total of the debit side. That means 52,000 plus 5,000 plus 20,000 plus 4,800 plus 6,200. A total of the debit side minus the amount of closing stock. Okay, because this stock is going to be processed further. So here I have identified that the valuation of these 8,800 units will be a total of all this, that is coming to be 88,000 minus 8,800. 88,000 minus 8,800. So the value is coming as 79,200. Oh, I've forgotten to balance the accounts over here. Kindly mention the amount over here also. It is 11,400 and the total is 88,000. Okay, so now identify the per unit price. 88,000 minus 8,800 divided by the good units only, that is 8,800. 79,200 divided by 8,800. So the cost per unit is coming as rupee 9. All right, rupee 9 means, earlier remember how much was the cost? It was rupee 5. That means in the process 1 unit is attracting the expense equivalent to 5 rupees. Okay, now remember how much extra additional expense we are incurring in process 2 is 9. Now the cost has increased from rupee 5 to rupee 9. That means 4 rupee extra are being incurred in your process 2. You do not need to pay any attention to this information. This I am explaining it to you. Okay. So our cost from rupee 5 has been increased to process, is increased to rupee 9 in process 2. Now, same way we are going to prepare our process 3 account also. Here we have taken the value which we have received from process 2. How much units are being made? 8,800 units. Check here. Transfer, and also I mentioned it is the balancing figure. So this 8,800 is being received by deducting these. Okay. So 8,800 and 79,200 is the input quantity here. Okay. Now again we need to adjust the opening stock, and we are valuing the opening stock at the price which we have identified in process 2, because we are bringing these values from the second process. These are the initial values which are still remaining in the process. So 2,000 units are still lying in the process, and what was the valuation at rupee 9? So 9 twos are 18,000. Again, we have added all the expenses, direct wages, machine expenses, and factory overhead as given to you in the question: 26,000, 4,800, and 3,600. How much are the wastages? 800 unit and 400 unit. Here we are having the opening stock, 2,000 units. This you need to identify. They are not going to give you the valuation of the opening stock or the closing stock. This we are going to identify on our own. That since these 2,000 units are still lying in the process, they have come from the process 2, so their valuation has to be done according to the price of process 2. So 9 twos are 18,000. How much was the normal loss? As we have seen, 800 units with no value. And how much is the closing stock? Again valued at rupee 9. Why? Because they are still lying in the process and no processing has been done on these units under process 3. So closing stock valued at rupee 9. 4 nines are 3,600. Okay. Make a total. Here we are having is 10,800 units which are introduced in process 3. And how much is the wastages? 800 units. And next process and the closing stock still remaining is 400. So 1,200 units are the units which are not finished. They are still lying in the process. It is waste in the form of wastage, and these are going to be processed in the future time period. So we are going to deduct the amount 10,800 minus 800 and 400 units. So how much output is received in the process 3 is 9600 units. Then make a total of all the expenses, which comes to be 1,31,600. From this amount, from this amount 1,31,600, deduct the amount of closing stock 3,600. Okay. So we are having the value as 1,28,000. So our 9,600 units are valued at 1,28,000. So we are identifying the per unit price. Now remember, since this is the last process, there is no further processing to be done. That means process 3 is going to give us the finished product. No further processing is being required. The product is being manufactured from 3 processes only, process 1, 2 and 3. Here we are going to write in the last process account that we are receiving the finished goods. And how many finished goods are received? 9,600 units, because we had a loss of 800 units and we has a closing stock in the process equivalent to 400 units. These units will be processed later on. So 9,600 is our output, and what is the cost incurred on these 9,600 units is 1,28,000. So the per unit price which is coming of these particular units is 13.33. So if you want to sell a product in the market and the product is manufactured through a sequence of processes, process 1, 2 and 3, or n number of processes, then the cost which we have identified for that product is 13.33. Add a profit margin to it and sell it in the market. This is the way which we are going to prepare the process account. It is entirely different from how you have prepared your cost sheet. So as I've told you, each type of costing technique, we are going to make a different kind of statement. Different technique will be used. So kindly follow the technique according to the method of costing. So in cost sheet will be made when we are having unit costing, same product. In case of when we are having a product, as you can see the format of the question. Okay, in the format it is very clearly given that the product is being manufactured through different processes. Process 1, 2 and 3. When you get this type of format, we can comprehend that the product is using the technique of process costing. And we are going to make the T-shaped process account separately for each process. Okay, the raw material will be introduced in process 1. Then the output from process 1 will be transferred to process 2. The output from process 2 will be transferred to process 3. And if the process 3 is the last process, then the output which we are going to receive is your finished good. Kindly go through the question once, and we are going to discuss in case of some query. Thank you.